Two teenagers were killed in Dhaka a week ago after a bus ploughed into them. The protests over that incident have brought Bangladesh's capital to a complete standstill. Now the Bangladesh government has increased the maximum punishment for offenders to 5 years in jail, but it is too little, too late. What's important to note is who's protesting, why they are so angry, and how brutally the authorities are responding to them.
This is how the streets of Dhaka have looked like for the past week. Roads chock-a-block with protesting students. They've gathered at street corners with placards. They've raised slogans and demanded action. And they have only one demand: make the roads of Bangladesh safer for the public.
The elected representatives manage all their expenditures with our tax money. There is no benefit from elections if the representatives are ignorant about our life security and are reluctant to provide us due services. We will continue the movement if our demands are not met immediately.
These protests have virtually paralyzed Dhaka, and the teenagers have a concrete plan of action. Dressed in their school uniforms, they've erected checkpoints across the city. And much to the embarrassment of the authorities, these teens are forcing the police and ministers to observe traffic laws and enforce them. In return, they are being beaten up and attacked.
They have beaten us with bamboos by kicking us and in various other ways. It does not matter. It won't affect me, but we want safe roads. Whatever is happening to us, let it be. It's not a problem for us. But we want safe roads. We want that in the future no one is killed under the wheels of buses or vehicles. This is what we want.
But what prompted these unprecedented scenes? On July 29th, 2 students were killed and 12 others were injured when a privately run bus ploughed into a bus stop. The driver lost control of his vehicle while racing another bus to pick up passengers, a common occurrence in Bangladesh. Traffic laws are rarely observed in the densely populated country. Law enforcement agencies have also failed to ensure effective implementation of regulations. On an average, more than 4,000 people die in road accidents every single year in Bangladesh. Last year, over 7,000 people were killed in road accidents. And the incident 8 days ago seemed to be enough to mobilize the country's youth. Protests turned violent as police used force to disperse the protesting students. Some took to vandalism to prove their point. A few armed men attacked a car belonging to the United States Embassy in Dhaka. The American ambassador and her staff were unhurt, but the incident forced a stronger crackdown. A few offices of Bangladeshi political parties were also targeted.
They attacked party offices several times yesterday. Today 4 to 5 protesters tried to do the same. We prevented them at that time and asked them to go back, but they didn't. Then we had to fire tear gas shells to disperse them.
Even assurances from the Prime Minister herself didn't cut any ice. On Sunday, Sheikh Hasina urged the students to call off their protests and go home. She said, and I quote, "I request all guardians and parents to keep their children at home. Whatever they have done is enough." She also went a step further, hinting at the possibility of these protests being more than just spontaneous anger, hinting at the influence of a third party. Hasina warned that the protests could be sabotaged, putting the safety of demonstrators at risk. Hundreds have been injured in police crackdown in the last 1 week. But these students seem determined. prompting questions about the possibility of a political hand backing the demonstrations. Be that as it may, the sheer numbers that these sustained protests make one thing clear, that Bangladesh has had enough. Bureau Report, WION.